Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
We are a nation in decline.
Experts are preparing for what is known as Disease X, or the next pandemic.
What we are seeing is a revolution against the system.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rise and Grind with Vince, a show where I talk about the news and events in the morning, Monday through Friday. I'm back. I'm sorry for the inconsistencies, but here we are in April, on April 15th, rather. Thank you all for tuning in, whether you're on X or Pilled or DLive or YouTube. I appreciate it. If you are new, please subscribe and like and do all that good stuff. We're going to let people file in here. Today, we've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, right now, Trump just finished his trial, the hush money trial. We've got him speaking here. We've got right now live the UN Council on the Middle East going on now. France is speaking, and Russia just finished. And so that's going on now. We're going to cover a lot of finance, social aspects of what's going on in the world, including protests, etc., as well as some of the political news going on, U.S. news, world news, a little bit of health topics and weather and technology, all kinds of stuff. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, make sure you subscribe if you're new, etc., like, blah, 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 blah. You know the things. Thank you for tuning in, Vader. Good to see you. Thank you, Chris Large, for tuning in. And Christy, good to see you. Hello. Hope you're doing well. Chris Large over there on YouTube. If you guys don't follow Chris, give him a follow. There's an interview on his channel, actually, with myself. And then one he held, a day ago, 2 days ago. I tuned into that, staying up entirely too early or late or whatever you call it. But it was a wonderful interview, Chris. I highly recommend you guys go follow Chris Large if you're a YouTube person, and check out those interviews and his other content. Hey, Alan, Alex, good to see you. Evening to you. Good to see you. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's get right into it. We're going to start with finance, and then we'll get into the rest of these things. As much as I want to watch this UN Council, we'll hear all the updates later once it's all consolidated into all the nice articles that'll come out, or probably are coming out now as this is even live. And you've got all these fantastic journalists out there taking notes right now, and they're going to summarize this for us. So we'll get that later on today. Make sure you follow me on X. Here's my handle, Ready F4Any, there on the screen. And if you don't have an X account, I highly recommend creating an account on there. It doesn't even have to be you. You're allowed to create an anonymous account on there if you want. And it's growing to be something fantastic. Okay. So I highly recommend you get on there and share your thoughts on things. Create content if you want. If you want to start live stream. If you need tips, you could always contact me. I'm happy to help you out. If you want me to join a space with you, I'll join a space with you if I'm available as well. It's important to have these conversations. I want to hear what you say on these things. I'm open to hearing every interpretation and bit of information. So I appreciate everybody following me on X, and everyone watching, of course. Let's get into it. Finance. Let's take a quick look at the markets. Why don't we? It's a big day considering what has unfolded over the weekend and how these wars affect the markets. Gosh, what is going on? Why does this page isn't loading right? What's going on here? I just want to see there we go, this data here. The markets are green at the moment, for the most part. When I'm looking here at the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, although the NASDAQ did dip in the red just for a second this morning. Crude is down, crude oil is down, gold is down this morning, but gold is still valued at $2,365.70. Gold is up $28.63. Bitcoin had a big drop lately. It's valued at $64,630. People are really eyeing the USD compared to the Japanese yen today. We'll talk about Japan here in a second here. I started following this guy Kevin on X. Kevin, what's his name? I forget. I apologize. Kevin Green, and he makes these weekly recaps. And if you follow me on X, and you saw, I retweeted this morning. And it's a great breakdown of what to expect for the whole week, and he analyzes it a bit, and he does a very good job. So if you like finance stuff and you want to get into the real deep stuff, it's a good follow there. Anyway, that's Kevin Green. And he talks about Japan in his breakdown. And let me share this with you. He says some interesting things. And look, I'm not a financial advisor, okay? I'm just a normal guy looking at some data and what people that are smarter than me are saying. So not financial advice or anything like that. I'm just looking at the data here, and I might provide you with some opinion. But here we go. Here's his post, and here's a snapshot from it. He said this: if you think the U.S. Federal Reserve is between a rock and a hard place, the Bank of Japan has two choices. Continue to devalue their currency, or sacrifice their JGBs, their Japanese government bonds. Okay, and then it says here, lower yen sparks export demand, which is a tailwind for their economy on export basis. But albeit the yen is only around 14% of the US dollar index, and their underlying funding structure may have an impact on US Treasury demand. Okay, so I don't know how it's going to unfold that right, but it seems unsustainable. And there was another post that I made. Let me go to his summary here and see if I could recall what it was. It was having to do with, because I watched what Professor Staunch put out this morning, and he said that we're probably not going to see what we need to see as far as rate cuts go. As a matter of fact, we might not see any rate cuts this year. And one thing that's written here is we normalize the yield curve either through Fed cuts, which will need to be more than 75 basis points this year to normalize the curve, or through natural attrition, setting up the economy for a long-term foundational base. So what does that mean, to normalize the yield curve through natural attrition? Because I don't think we're going to get the 75 BPS this year to normalize the curve. So what that means, natural attrition to make this normalized, that means a weaker economy. A weaker economy because that means less jobs. You're talking layoffs, you're talking people retiring and this kind of thing. That will be the natural attrition that's being mentioned here, just so you know. And so I think that's kind of the direction things are going to go, considering we were about to have a bunch of stuff the Fed was going to do, but that's all slowly going away, right? It's very interesting to watch, to say the least. We had news here breaking this morning, and a few news agencies are picking it up that I consider to be credible. The Associated Press picked it up, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying that they're always right about things, and they might be wrong about this, but it's going around and people are running with it. And there's actually evidence here. I think I have the actual email that leaked from Tesla. And it is a memo from Elon, allegedly. Okay, this is not confirmed by Elon Musk, but it's being reported by many. And here it is, that Tesla will be laying off 10% of its staff globally, affecting more than 14,000 employees. A quote from the memo, as seen here, says, quote from Musk himself, quote, "As we prepare the company for our next phase of growth, it is extremely important to look at every aspect of the company for cost reductions and increasing productivity." He cited, quote, duplication of roles and job functions in certain areas as the reason for cuts. So they analyze, strategically on who to cut, obviously. So we have that with Tesla, which is unconfirmed, but it looks like somebody may have leaked this email out. And a lot of people are confident enough to believe that it's legitimate and that their sources are legitimate, but it's yet to be confirmed. So we also have got real estate stocks plummeting to an all-time low relative to the S&P 500. Not good for real estate stocks. I don't have an analysis on that, though. I don't know what's going on there. It's just something to note there. It is wild. And here's the chart. Bricks and Schmorter. Just down, down, down. And this is a chart since from 2001 until now. My goodness. Let's move on here. Business activity continued to decline in New York State, according to firms responding to the April 2024 Empire State Manufacturing Survey. Markets and Mayhem reported on this today, providing this graph here. And let me give you a full screen. Boom. Seasonally adjusted diffusion index. So, no bueno. New York has had a rough time. Okay, aluminum and nickel prices are surging. Aluminum has actually rallied to the highest price, or the most, since 1987. That's aluminum. My gosh. Some wild moves in the market, that's for sure. All right. You've got the Bank of Japan stuff. That's very concerning to me. It doesn't seem sustainable, so we'll see what happens there. Some data here on fast food. I don't know why everybody wants to talk about Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and complain about the prices, which, yes, they are high. Look at this. Fast food price inflation. McDonald's is the worst, doubling in the last 10 years. Since 2014, all of this data here. You got Popeyes with an 86% increase, followed by Taco Bell with an 81% increase. What's that? Chipotle and all these other companies. Their inflation is anywhere from 31% to 100%, which is double. So there you go. Yes, we're not crazy, okay? Things are more expensive, and it's not just 20%, 25%, 30%. It's up to 100% plus in some cases, and this is just fast food, 31% to 100%. They don't put McDonald's in the basket of goods when they report the CPI, okay? That's how they keep these numbers really low. Oh, yeah, inflation's going down. It's cooling off. Yeah. The data, that's how they get you. Over 1,300 layoffs hit logistics companies across the U.S. Oh, that's big. And that's going to affect the economy. Definitely. That was reported by Zero Hedge a few days ago. Let's see. When was this reported? April 14th. This was yesterday. Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Michigan, and Texas announcing job reductions and facility closures over the past 2 weeks. This video is going viral in China. I mean, it's going viral everywhere. Canada. In Canada, this person's trying to get cash out of their bank. Check out what happens when they try to get 3,000 Canadian, which is just over $2,000 or so US dollars. 2,200 US dollars here. Let's check this out. Oh, wait. Let me see. I need to share my sound here with you. Check this out, and then I'll go to the chat here if anybody has any feedback.
I can't. Well, wait, I don't understand. What are you talking about?
So I will either give you a bank draft, or if you're gonna get cash, I will need an invoice for the car purchase.
Why? No, I'd like to. It's for the car's payments for in cash. I can't use a bank draft.
Are you buying from like a private?
Yeah, it's private.
person?
It's literally from my friend.
From your friend?
Yeah, but he wants it in cash.
Can he give you like anything that you're purchasing from him?
No, I don't. You don't need that. Bro, what is it? I'm only asking for 3. What is this? It's my money. I'm allowed to withdraw from my own bank account.
Yeah, so I can.
You said what's the maximum limit you can give a withdrawal to a customer? It's $3,000 on the day. You've already mentioned that multiple times.
Yeah, not today.
Why not today?
Today I would need a bank draft or I would get an invoice.
But why you don't? You need proof of what it is. Why is that? And why is that? Why is that? Why do you need me to tell you what it is? Why do you need? What kind of proof is that? I bring in a note. Like what? How is that? What is that going to change? I don't understand.
So that would
You need to give me my money.
buying.
I'm not taking a bank draft. I would like cash, please.
Yeah, I won't be able to give you cash today.
Okay, wait. I'm just going to sit here until you give me cash. So I'm not going to leave.
So she ends up going and getting a manager. I'm not sure if he ever did get his cash or anything, but basically she's saying you need to tell us why you need this money. We're not going to do it today. And he says, I'm buying a vehicle from a friend. What do you want? A written note? And it's just having a difficult time there for $2,200 US or 3,000 Canadian. And I think this isn't just a Canadian thing. This happens in the US as well. Similar circumstances. A lot of banks want a notice in advance if you're going to withdraw a certain amount of cash. And that's because they don't have it. They don't have the cash. Okay. As soon as you put the cash in there, it's theirs. It's gone. And they don't keep a ton of cash on hand. All right. They have a lot of numbers in the pewters. Yeah. So that's why that happens. And it's getting more and more common. All right. This morning we had some protests going on. Chicago O'Hare International Airport was blocked. The highway was blocked. That's going to the airport here. Andy No shared a video from dissenters. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that other account, but here that is blocking of the highway. No bueno. Sounds like they've got drums going, etc. These are far left, anti-Israel, pro-Palestine protesters. There they are, sitting across the highway, just blocking it. Yeah, there you go. Wow. My gosh, not good. Not good at all. Oh, thank you, Army Mom, for the shout out. Good morning to you. Thanks for the reminder. Hit the like, follow, share, support Vince. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate all you supporters and viewers and friends and family and all y'all. Let's see. Thank you, Forrest. Forrest says they're doing well. Glad I'm back. Thank you so much. Any thoughts on buying a home in this market? Ooh, that's a good question. Any thoughts on buying a home in this market? I'm not, this is not financial advice. Okay. It's just my opinion and I don't know anything. I'm really inexperienced when it comes to investing. I do just as good as if I really think about something and do it. I do just as good as if I flip a coin. Okay. And make a decision. So just with that said, I'll say this. It depends. So I would say, you know, if you had a ton of money and a safety net and other investments and whatnot, then it's probably fine. If it's going to be, you know, every penny you got, I don't know, right? It's probably a little more risky. And so I think there's a lot of factors that go into that. I think it's easier for somebody with, say, $10 million to go out there right now and buy property and buy houses or build houses or buy or build whatever, right? And whether the market does a little bad or good in the long term, they'll benefit greatly, right? But, you know, in the short term, maybe it's a terrible idea because the market could crash, right? Who knows? So it just depends on, you know, I would recommend making a pros and cons lists and then understanding the risk of a big investment. And that's relative to how much money you have, right? So just got to weigh it out. But I think investments in property or a home is probably one of the best ones to make when you're talking about this kind of thing. Of course, at this time, I think that it's likely you'll lose money on it. At least in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe. And that's just my opinion. Could be totally wrong, right? Who knows what's going to happen, but that's just my opinion. Let me know. What do you guys think? Buy a house? Don't buy a house? It's a good question. In this market, and also it depends on the area and whatnot too, right? I think that does matter. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what y'all think. Moving on here. We've got Seattle libraries closing through at least June. Why? Due to a rise in homeless-related security threats. So Seattle libraries can't even stay open because of the homeless crisis and the security threats in the area. That is just kind of concerning, to say the least. I don't know what to say about that, but that's happening in Seattle. Wow. The public library is closing. Wow. Through at least June. Sheesh. German transport minister threatens indefinite driving bans on weekends. Actually, this was debunked in this article, but I thought it was interesting nonetheless. I wanted to share this with you real quick. Climate Depot reported on it. Let me share that. Politico also, German transport minister threatens indefinite driving bans on weekends to meet climate goals. So it says this: Germany's transport minister Volker Wissing, in a letter to the parliamentary group leaders, quote, "A reduction in traffic to help meet the climate goals would only be possible through measures that are difficult to communicate to the public, such as, quote, comprehensive and indefinite driving bans on Saturdays and Sundays." Okay. Wissing added, if the planned reforms are not passed through Parliament by July 15th, Wissing warned, the Ministry for Digital and Transport would be obliged to submit an immediate action program that ensures compliance with the annual emission levels of the transport sector until 2030, which would include a driving ban on weekends. So it says here, this claim is simply wrong. Green parliamentary group leader Julia Verlinden told the German press agency, referring to Wissing's threat of a weekend driving ban. She added that Wissing should not aggravate people unnecessarily because there are other ways to tackle climate issues, such as a speed limit. What? He did say, quote, comprehensive and indefinite driving bans on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, so he actually did say that, and she says that he's wrong. This is the Green parliamentary leader. So he did say that, and she's like, no, we could just make speed limit signs instead. Immediately backtracking, which is interesting, to say the least. It's almost like maybe they had immediate pushback and they started to walk it back a little bit. I don't think people are going to go for this. And then speed limits, like, really? That's going to save the planet from this alleged climate change that's going around? Just, I don't know, you guys. It's just nuts. I'm muted, huh? No sound. What did I not have sound? What did I not play, Vader? I'm sorry I didn't have sound on something. My gosh. I have sound now, don't I? There should be sound now. Okay, sorry, I don't know. I'm going to continue forward, though. Thank you, Vader. Right, Vince. Testing. Am I back? Testing. Oh my gosh, testing. I think I'm back. Sorry about that interruption, everybody. I'm back. Everybody's talking about NPR because they have a new, who is she? Katherine Mayer. She was the CEO of Wikimedia. Now she works for NPR, and she's like a model, this seems like a model DEI hire, leftist. Here's one quote from her on X. A lot of people are going to her post and pointing things out. She said, "Lots of jokes about leaving the US, and I get it." This is July 30th, 2020. she goes on and says, but as someone with cis white mobility privilege, I'm thinking I'm staying and investing in ridding ourselves of this specter of tyranny. Okay, great. So yeah, that's NPR. I think she's a high-level employee for NPR, which Elon Musk calls kind of like a state-ran media, if you will. She is the president and CEO of NPR now, Katherine Mayer. She also tweeted this May 30th, 22. Oh, that's the same one. She has some interesting tweets out there that are quite concerning. But yeah, she's an interesting hire there. Thank you, Alex. Gosh. Good morning, immature eagle. God bless you. Thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate that. Good to see you. Hope your morning's going well. And Forrest says, thanks. That was a tough question. Thanks. You're welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah. Okay. Onward. What else do we got here? We had an unidentified object video going around, which was pretty interesting. A lot of people saying it's debunked. It's a balloon. It's a balloon that looks like a human. It could be a balloon. I don't know, but it's always fun to see these things. Let's take a quick look at that. So it's taken in Sequoia Park, California. Object in the sky. Could be a balloon. Like a metallic kind of balloon. It looks like a person. There are balloons that look like that. So yeah, that's it. Pretty interesting. Looks like it's something reflective. Kind of going in and out of focus there. But yeah, I'll kind of scrub through the video here. It's definitely a human-y. Look at that, right? Totally looks like a person. So, you know, it's got to be a balloon. Of course, people are like, it's Project Bluebeam. It's Project Bluebeam. And then other people are like, it's Jesus. Jesus is back. Praise the Lord. Which I don't think that was Jesus, but I don't know. Could be. It's who knows what it is. Maybe probably just a balloon, but there have been some weird things in the sky lately, reported in a lot of places. So we'll keep our eye on these kinds of things. There's some definitely strange stuff happening that is bigger than that, but that's just one of the latest sightings taken from a couple angles. So it did happen. Massive protests in Paris. The bikers, 10,000 bikers protest against the new government. Let me pull this up. I think they're protesting against a lot of things that have to do with health. They're protesting against like globalists and this kind of thing. Here's the actual video. Lots of bikers, lots. Look at that. There's a better picture. My goodness. That is a lot of Frenchmen in Paris. Let me look here. They're protesting new government regulations, essentially, right? Here's a quote. Our masters have not heard the people's voice for generations, and it is much, much louder than they can care to remember. Whew. So a little bit more social unrest, peaceful protesting going on. Go to the chat real quick. All right. So let's look at this clip from Trump real quick. And then we will actually, why do I have this link? I have a better audio version here. It looks like the UN meeting just ended a bit ago too. I have a better clip. Let's see if I could pull it up because I had just enough time this morning to actually edit the sound a little better. So if you're a headphone user, I'll start it off low so I don't deafen you. But here's Trump this morning speaking after the trial, day one this morning in New York, the hush money trial.
This is an assault on America. Nothing like this has ever happened before. There's never been anything like it. Every legal scholar said this case is nonsense. It should never have been brought. It doesn't deserve anything like this. There is no case, and they've said it. People that don't necessarily follow or like Donald Trump said this is an outrage that this case was brought. This is political persecution. This is a persecution like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And again, it's a case that should have never been brought. It's an assault on America. And that's why I'm very proud to be here. This is an assault on our country. And it's a country that's failing. It's a country that's run by an incompetent man who's very much involved in this case. This is really an attack on a political opponent. That's all it is. So I'm very honored to be here. Thank you very much.
All right, and that's what he said there. I don't think that they actually have. I don't think this is going to go anywhere. I really don't. And there's plenty of evidence that supports kind of this idea that they really don't have anything, and they're just doing exactly what Trump said, is attacking a political opponent, which is not good. Moving on. There's also allegations here talking about the Fani Willis trial now, that there's a whistleblower ready to spill the beans on Fani Willis. And so that case isn't going well either. Anyway, onward. This morning, this was breaking that the FBI has opened an investigation into the Baltimore Bridge crash. If you guys remember the Baltimore bridge crash, where the bridge ended up collapsing after being hit with a cargo vessel. Strange incident there. A lot of conspiracies, but now there's new intel from the NFSC alleging that it was actually a terrorist attack by the Chinese Communist Party. So take this with a grain of salt, but here is what they reported. And people are passing this around the internet today.
I would like to add that 70% to 80% of the normal traffic at this port is military material, much of it destined for Ukraine. Today we are going to bring you a piece of exclusive intelligence that we have received from our supporters within the CCP. The information is very precise. This attack is being carried out by the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, using remote towing technology. It is a terrorist attack. The CCP has launched a terrorist operation against the United States on American soil. The impact is huge on the traffic and transportation of the entire United States. The local governor says it has an impact on the whole world, which is not an exaggeration at all. Also, the bad news is that if the CCP can tow a freighter to collapse Baltimore's bridge, they can do the same with any car, ship, elevator, any vehicle you can think of. As long as it has a connection to signal and data, a chip, an antenna, a radio, etc. Because Miles once told me in the past that once Liu Yanping, the former vice minister of public security of the CCP, threatened him and said that they can crash any plane they want at any time. Don't think that if you don't bring your phone, you'll be okay. The CCP can crash anything as long as your device has something to receive the signal, like the radios in cars or planes. So again, I want to emphasize that the two pieces of exclusive intelligence are that it's the CCP that launched the terrorist attack on Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge using the remote towing technology on the freighter. The second information is that there are people in the US government who knew about it but didn't report it, although we can't confirm whether they knew about it before or after the attack. But so far we have not seen any official statement confirming this information.
I think that's important to note. No official report confirming this information. This could be BS, okay? This really could be, and I'm still speculative on it, to be honest, but who knows? I think it's possible, right? What do you guys think? It's just something I wanted to share there. Let's talk a little bit about some world news. We had massive attacks over the weekend from Iran on Israel. I think there was one casualty, a child or a baby. But however, most of the projectiles were destroyed. Hey, good morning, Cordova. Hey, I finally got a chance to check out your channel. Sorry I was late, but yeah, I'm glad you're making videos. I can't wait for the next one. I turned my notifications on, so I'll get that. So thank you, Cordova, and thank you for what you do. I appreciate that. So I was going to pull this up. It was something like hundreds of projectiles, including drones, etc. The Iron Dome shot most of it down. There's a lot of things that people think about this. Okay, I'm not going to take sides in this because I agree with Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here. He put out this report early this morning about this attack, and this is what he says. He says that that this is scripted. This is part of the scripted global agenda for World War III. His opinion is, I'll just read this. He said, quote, while U.S. drones hardly work in Ukraine, we're supposed to believe that despite weeks of warnings, Iran was able to send countless drones to Israel and attack the Iron Dome. The lone casualties involved Israeli missile shrapnel that hit a Palestinian home and killing a child. Typical, he says. He's skeptical on this narrative, obviously. He says $1 billion was spent on Israel's defense, including the Iron Dome and other defenses. By the way, that $1 billion, part of that goes to the Iron Dome defense system, which is extremely effective. And that is, I think, a lot of Raytheon products there. So just so you know, defense stocks over the last week or two have been rising, and it led right up to this, right? And the rhetoric started going to as defense stocks started rising at least a week ago. He says it's the perfect money laundering. He says, quote, the war is scripted. It is not real. World War III is being used as an excuse to bring down Western civilization in favor of Eastern technocratic civilization. They're playing people against each other while all the global governments rub their hands together in collusion. That's his theory and his opinion. An interesting take. I'd like to hear what you guys think. I think this is a very complex issue, and to be frank, it's very exhausting to go back and forth on. I've been going into spaces and trying to learn about this, but I'll be honest with you, I am nowhere close to an expert on what goes on overseas in these countries and the history and all this stuff. There's people that are much more educated on that than I am. I just think that in general, war is very unfortunate, and I would much rather have peace if at all possible. And that's my stance, right? That's just my stance. You're welcome, Cordova. Thank you again. All right. And Alex took off. Thank you for tuning in, Alex. Onward. This morning, Blinken said the U.S. doesn't want escalation with Iran, but will defend Israel. Where we kind of stand now that attack happened is we're waiting for more information, because Israel is expected to respond in some manner, some way, shape, or form. However, that I don't think has been ironed out yet. At least it hasn't been announced on what that might look like. Of course, we hope de-escalation, but right now I'm doubtful. Joe Biden was supposed to speak after this attack over the weekend, by the way, and then he canceled it right away. And then he released a written statement the next day, I think. It was just kind of a weird series of events. He did speak since then, though, and he was just Sleepy Joe as usual. Not anything really worth looking at, in my opinion. If you caught it, you caught it. But we're moving on. The news cycle moves so fast. The UN chief also said the Middle East is on the brink. And there's a lot of like fear mongering and crazy stuff. And look, don't get me wrong, this could really go south, but there's a lot of fear driven content on the internet. So just be careful, be aware of what you're taking in, because not only is there a lot of war talk, and Josh Sigurdson from World Alternative Media pointed this out as well. This post in particular from The Sun. Gates of Hell, terrifying simulation, reveals how apocalyptic Iran versus Israel war would quickly go nuclear and spiral into World War III. It's possible, and maybe that's the plan. I've heard this theorized from a video from about 20 years ago. Somebody predicting all this. They said there was going to be a virus. Actually, they said a bioweapon. And then they said there's going to be a war with Iran in the Middle East, and that it's going to lead to a nuclear exchange that's limited. It stops. And then there's going to be chaos in all these countries, and people are going to be begging for a solution to all the crime and the violence and the wars. And that's when they could do like martial law and all this kind of stuff. This was a theory I heard from a video from about 20 years ago. So, and it's all kind of following that, and we're kind of seeing it. So it's interesting to see the things that are being published out there. And I don't like all the violence. I'll be honest with you. I try to like shield myself from it. There was a horrible attack. Gosh, do I have this in here? I might not have even put it in here because it's just so violent. Yeah, so a church in Sydney, there was an attack, a knife attack, a Christian leader, several worshippers were stabbed, and they actually chopped the fingers of the attacker, and everybody survived. But there was video of that today, and it wasn't too graphic. I'm not going to play it because I don't appreciate seeing that kind of stuff, and I'm not going to show it. But there was a violent attack there, and there's been a string of attacks similar to that lately. So it's just a horrible thing to see. And then there's a lot. People are saying that the Biden administration was provided guidance to Iran in Saturday's drone and missile strike, allegedly. Gateway Pundit wrote an article on that. Jerusalem Post had some things to say as well. They said Iran informed Turkey in advance of its planned operation against Israel, a Turkish diplomatic source told Reuters on Sunday, adding that the U.S. conveyed to Iran via Ankara that its operation must be limited, or it must be controlled, or something along those lines. I don't have the exact quote here, but something along those lines. So that's kind of an interesting tidbit, and I think that's why Josh Sigurdson is coming to this conclusion, in his opinion, that this is all just scripted for war and some global agenda. Cordova says, all I know is it's all bad. That's kind of how I feel too. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. That's for sure. Go to the chats here. Hey, hello, Therese. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Good morning. All right, let's move on a little bit. This is really happening. They're trying to block the sun. My goodness. I think, Bill Gates is into this kind of stuff. The government will control the weather and you will be happy. Let's see. Former U.S. congressional staffer Mark Morano comments on the U.S. government's openness to blocking out the sun, using technology funded by Bill Gates in the fight against climate change. People aren't buying electric cars fast enough. This is a quote. People aren't buying electric cars fast enough, or they're not embracing the Green New Deal policies. So we have to risk our entire planet with this insane kind of research. It's basically weather modification. Fox News did a little report on it. It's real. It's happening. If you could do a quick Google search and find plenty on it. It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. It's been enough time. I don't know what the delta is between a conspiracy theory and then truth nowadays, but that's a truth now. So, I don't think it's good at all, right? I really don't think we should be putting anything in the air, chemicals, this or that, experimentation. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's very good at all. I can't believe it's even to this point. It happens. It really happens. Did you guys know during the Olympics, what was it? It was the Beijing Olympics. China modified the weather in order to have favorable weather for the Olympic Games. That really happened. It's documented. It's no secret. Just a little casual weather manipulation, Health. We've got New York City. They've posted record case numbers for bacterial diseases, and it baffles me. It baffles me that there are baffled medical professionals, doctors, and medical experts that are baffled. I'm baffled that they're baffled about all these health issues, whether it's these bacterial diseases or it's cancer rates rising or diabetes and all these diseases. They're like, why is everyone so unhealthy? We just can't figure it out. I wonder. I don't know, but health is very important. So make sure you do things to take care of your health, exercise and eat well and be healthy, and listen to healthcare professionals that have their head turned on right, or whatever, screwed on straight. right? I'm not a medical professional, so don't listen to me, but do the things, that the professionals, I don't know who, the World Health Organization and the CDC, they have some good information, I'll be honest. But anyway, yeah, keep health on the forefront. I can't believe I said that. Sorry. Okay, moving on. This was a weird story. At least 41 people have died in storm-related incidents across Pakistan since Friday, including 28 killed by lightning, officials said. Okay, so I read this article. It wasn't actually, I don't think it's 28 killed by lightning, but a lot killed by lightning. And I thought, that's a lot of people. Oh, maybe it was 28. So 41 people total died, 28 from lightning. Oh my God, let's look at this article. It's pretty wild. Very short. Here it is. Quote, insiderpaper.com. At least 41 people have died in storm-related incidents across Pakistan since Friday, including 28 killed by lightning, officials said on Monday. Pakistan's National Disaster Management Authority has warned of landslides and flash floods because more rain is expected in coming days. My gosh. Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif said on Monday, quote, I have asked the NDMA to coordinate with the provinces and for the to provide relief, blah, blah, blah. People in open rural areas were at most risk of being struck by lightning. At least 8 people were killed in this Balochistan province, including 7 struck by lightning, where 25 districts were battered by rain. They also said that the rain collapsed houses. 4 more people were killed in road incidents linked to flooded roads. Another 8 people were killed in northern province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, excuse my pronunciation, including 4 children, when houses collapsed in the heavy downpours. Those must have been very poor houses, or it was a very extreme downpour, or I guess possibly both. But my gosh, could you imagine a house collapsing from rain? Jeez. Pakistan People's Party Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, speaking to local media, blamed climate change for the surge in lightning incidents. It says here, Pakistan is increasingly vulnerable to unpredictable weather patterns, as well as often destructive monsoon rains that usually arrive in July. So climate change did it. That's the answer. Watch out. Climate change, it's not only making things hotter and making things colder, but it's also striking people with lightning now. So it's all kinds of weather, I guess. What a wild, wild, wild world we live in. Therese said every time they spray our sky here in Connecticut, and they put a line right over the sun and another to make an X. Interesting. Gates gots to go. Yeah, I don't know why he thinks he has the authority to put stuff in the sky. That's not right, man. That's not right. We share the sky, right? I don't think anyone should be able to change the sky. Elon Musk over the weekend had some comments on AI. We're going to kind of digress here, talk about a little bit of technology. AI, I think it's coming. It's going to be here to stay unless things go really south. But I think most likely we're stuck with this technology. All right. We're stuck with digital currencies. We're stuck with AI. We're stuck with machinery and all this stuff. We're stuck with technology. That's just the way things are. Elon Musk said, quote, in training AI, we need to make sure it's as truthful as possible and very curious. He also said other things about AI. He said there's a possibility that AI will end humanity. I'm summarizing what he said, but essentially he said there's a chance AI will end humanity, but let's hope not. So that's a scary thing, and that's why I follow AI. I think it's important that people get involved and that it doesn't get corrupted any more than it might already be, which concerns me. I mean, we've got like the foundation of AI going right now, at least what we know of publicly. Who knows how advanced AI really is, right? Who knows? But the foundation of this AI is very important, and that's the stage we're at now, and it's going to increase exponentially. So it's going to get more and more advanced faster and faster. So I think it's important to get it right now. And a good way to do that is to have awareness of it and understand it and watch it and provide our input on it and get involved in it, right? Why not? Learn AI, learn how to program, learn how to, go work for Elon or create your own AI company. I think it's important. Anyway, I was reading this other article too. OpenAI and Google allegedly use YouTube videos to train AI models, according to reports. And I know that Elon Musk said that he was aware OpenAI did the same thing with content on X, previously Twitter. China probably uses all the footage from their cameras across their entire country to feed AI data. AI is probably listening to me right now. And they use this data to create massive neural networks and natural language parts of the AI, and they make their AI better and better. And then they take all of that and they package it up and they make the version that's accessible to you and me. So, yeah, I mean, that's how they're doing it. And it's not exactly ethical if that's what's happening, right? They're just taking all the data willy-nilly and using it for their AIs. Not good. I mean, it needs data, right? You need data in order to have a good AI, but I think there should be controls on that, especially our personal data. It's just crazy how accessible it is to any company that wants it, all of our data. I think that that's a concern, but who knows if anything will ever be done about that. They say, technology is going to advance so far that there will be no secrets. Everything will be in the AI. It'll be in the hive mind, if you will. And I'm talking about like super far advancements, but people say it's not going to take that long. I don't know though. There's different theories on that, obviously, but I think it will be fairly quick, at least in our lifetime, maybe. There was a weird thing being reported off the coast of Antarctica. This could just be nothing. It could be something. It was reported as just a glitch. Just a glitch. Just a glitch. Off the coast of Antarctica, we saw this green.
Trying to document.
It's not green. Off the coast of Antarctica, we saw this spot appear. It's kind of hard to see here, but this is as big as I can make this video. This spot in the middle of this image here, at the bottom of Africa, it just appeared the day of the eclipse or the day after, just right around the eclipse. So this dot appeared small. So here it is. Just one day, it just went boop. There it is. This big green blob in the ocean. And these guys, or these people who follow the ocean buoy systems, and they look at the waves and tsunamis, like the buoys in the ocean they use to detect waves. And that's data you could look at. And if there's a tsunami, those are the buoys that pick up the thing, and they send out the tsunami warning if there's an earthquake or something. So anyway, there's a disturbance in the ocean right here, or a glitch. Could be a glitch. I don't know. But so we saw this that's why it's not playing. Am I back? Stand by. A little bit of technical difficulties. Test. I think I'm good. I apologize for the interruption. So this anomaly in the middle of this image appeared one day, okay? Right around the eclipse at the near Antarctica at the bottom of Africa. So here I go. I'm going to scrub through this. Over the coming days, I'm going to have to refresh this. I apologize. I think just that interruption messed it up. So here it is again. Mute this. So it pops up, it expands, it moves north, and it's projected to go into the Atlantic now. So this is a projection from this point, and it's going into the Atlantic. And these buoys in this area reported that there were like 80-foot waves when this was happening, but we didn't see them hitting the coast of Africa. Although there was a video that came out of some lady in this area with some storms. It was Cape Town, Africa. So we had this lady put this video out recently. Game Tech put this out. I'll show you this real quick. And I'm thinking, whoa, is this because of that weird disturbance we saw? That's just a glitch. Cape Town, Africa. Very stormy weather. Choppy waters, which happens just from wind, okay? If you're at the beach, sometimes it's a little choppy. Definitely, I don't see 80-foot waves.
Not nice in Cape Town.
Very not nice in Cape Town, she says.
Very too strong.
Wind is very too strong. Concerned about this weather, obviously. A little bit panicked over that. And that was a video that was found on TikTok. This was filmed on April 7th or 8th, according to Game Tech Politics. Just an interesting, very interesting thing. Oh, somebody has a better image of this anomaly that happened off of Antarctica, which is always such an interesting topic, Antarctica. Let's see. Here it is. So if you look here in the middle, there it is. It just appears one day. Some people said that it emerged from Antarctica even, but I don't know about that. So there it goes, 83, 84-foot waves. This thing's just moving north. It's just a technical glitch, they say. Who knows, right? Definitely something odd, though, man. Disappeared. Maybe it was a glitch if it disappeared like that. Or, oh, no, the video just restarted. Interesting. So I don't know, y'all. Very cool. I'll follow it. People are very skeptical about the glitch situation. But people are saying maybe it's Godzilla, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Who knows, though? It's just something interesting, and that's all to me. We'll keep our eye on it. Les Maryland says, this is the first I've heard of this anomaly. Yeah, it was interesting, and not a lot of people are picking that up, but I think it's notable. So I'll keep my eyes on it. Okay, I'll let you know if anything happens, and I'll let you know during a live, or I'll post outside of these hours. And pardon me, I got a spammer here. Yeah, so I'll let you know. So turn on your notifications, subscribe wherever you are, like, and all that stuff, so you'll know if I put out a video that's not live, or if I decide to go live unscheduled. And I appreciate you all very, very much for your support, for subscribing. If you want to support me, and means in this time of financial strain for a lot of people, if you don't have the money, don't worry about me, okay? Use your money for you and your families and your bills and stuff. But if you do have the means and you want to support the show and what I do, you can always subscribe on YouTube, become a member for $2.99 and gain access to some perks. And there's another tier as well. If you want to support further, you can become a VIP Plus member as well and enjoy the perks for that. So thank you to everybody who does, who is a member and supports me. I appreciate you greatly. Thank you so much. Thank you, Black Jester. Good to see you, and good to see you all. I'll see you all soon. That's all I'm going to do for today. With that, take care, God bless, and God speed.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
(2024) 2024 may be the year of a black swan event.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help."